us discuss now about kings, kingdoms and early republic. Now we'll discuss about them step by step. First we need to know who are the kings. Kings were the rulers. Now how they used to get the kings? Sometimes when they started getting their kings, it was completely by chosen from their own tribe, the leader of the tribe. So a small tribal group, they select their own ruler, those who a particular person who can control the tribe, who can take decision, who can protect the tribe. Now from here the kings, they started spreading their territory. How it happened? Now it can happen in both the way. Rather the king, those who can be selected in that way from the gunners or the common people, or he can get it from from his father by birth, hereditary. It can be elected, the king can be selected by these two types. Now how the king of a small territory, it started spreading its kingdom. At that point of time, mostly the power was controlled by the land they occupied and the animals they have under their control. So the kings now started spreading their territory. How they will spread their territory? Either they need to fight with other rulers and to defeat them and to capture their territory, or they have chosen some other way given by the Brahmins or the thinking class of the society. Here some of the cases they find that even without fighting, they can capture few of the lands where they can rule easily, neither even killing other people, causing death for many people, what a war usually that is responsible for. Rather doing that, they perform many of the sacrifices, kind of pujas, rituals. Ashwamedha Yagna was like that something. When a king, it started accumulating power in its hand, maybe 1, 2, 3 battle he won, and after that when he was considered as a powerful king, he started considering as a powerful king, he performed a horse sacrifice yagna, they called it as Ashwamedha Yagna. Now what is Ashwamedha? Ashwa means horse. A particular horse was assigned, set free to move wherever the direction the horse wanted to move. The king's army used to follow that horse. Now the horse is roaming from one state to another state. Whatever the land the horse will go, those land will consider as a part of the king's territory. Now we need to think that why the king of the other state will accept that. Because this is his land, right? From other king and the horse entered in his land and started occupying the land, it may not be acceptable for them. So to avoid this type of conflicts, that of a direct battle or war, they said that they need not to surrender with entire land, rather they will be king, as they are ruling their own country, they can rule like that. They just need to pay an annual taxes or some tributes to the king who is performing this Ashwamedha Yagna, and to accept him as overlord, as to avoid the war. So many of the small kings, they accepted it. Now this way, whatever the land that horse used to travel, that was under the control of the yagna performing king. And the king, end of the when the horse is back again to his territory, then the king used to sacrifice that horse to the god in performing some rituals, and he claimed himself as a very powerful king, as he has done Ashwamedha Yagna, and so many kingdoms have accepted him as so many other kings, they accepted him as a overlord. Now what happened after this? Now when a king, he started conquering other places like that, he made a kingdom. It is a group of many territories. He started ruling, he will start ruling, will be the ruler now. Now, he started ruling all these places with help of his own subordinates, maybe the local rulers, those who were already there. They started paying him a particular taxes, some particular taxes or some annual tribute or in form of other things. So, Raja, the king, he was the central figure of this ritual. So, whatever whoever is giving whatever the taxes or gifts or whatever it may come for the kingdom, that usually goes for Raja or the king. He must be in a special seat, like we know that we have seen this Singhashan or that type of a special seat where Raja or the king should sit. We have seen this. The story of Ramayana, Mahabharata, whatever you have seen, you have observed, this story actually is showing the time period of this particular time period actually was showing on these two epics. Here we have seen that the society was divided into 4 parts. Now, you can ask me one thing, that when the Kshatriya, Raja is protecting the territory, so he is the Kshatriya. So, being a Kshatriya, why Raja is not at the top? Why the Brahmins, they are at the social structure pyramid. If we see, Brahmins were at the top of the pyramid. Why it was like that? Actually, the Brahmins were the decision giver to the king. They were the advisor to the king. The kings, they always keep a special position for the Brahmins, as at that point of time they were the thinking pot, you can say, think pot of the society. So, what to do, how to do, when the Ashwamedha is the right time to perform the Ashwamedha, or when it is the right time to attack some other enemies, whether it is good or not, these all type of political discussion, the king used to get their suggestions from the Brahmins, as they were given a special seat in the society, special place in the society. So, Brahmins were given the topmost position in the social pyramid structure. There is a reason we have find that mainly the areas of Ganga, Yamuna, drain region, we have seen that this caste system that flourished very strictly, the Varna system, this is the time. Society was divided into these 4 Varnas. This is called as Varna system. Brahmins were the priests, they were strictly bound by their type of occupation. They were the priests, they are the advisor to the king. They were the teacher for the priestly class, like that this is a particular time when education was strictly for the top 2 classes, not for others. So, it was strictly for these 2 classes, and they started controlling the society in that way. So, that particular work was given to the priest. Next, we can see the Kshatriyas, who are the warriors. Kshatriyas were completely the king and his families, the kingly class, where this king who has a complete hold on the society and on his own kingdom, and he started ruling that entire area. So, maybe the king, his son, his daughter, his entire family, they were the class, they were considered as Kshatriyas. Next, we are coming to Vaishyas. Vaishyas are the people, those who are doing some of the business. They can be the trader, they can go from one place to another place in search of they are getting some few trading item from one place and they are selling it to other, and they are bringing some other customs and ideas as well as money also from the outside of the kingdom. So, they are called as Vaishyas. The rest, the entire common people, those who are serving these 3 class, they are considered as Shudras. They are more in number, and all women, they were considered as Sudras. They do not have any chance to get any hierarchy in the society, because they are only given work to perform household chores and to serve these three classes. They don't have any liberty as such, not even in some of the king's family also we have seen that. So though we have seen that this Varna system, they have a particular fixed work to do, that's the way it was divided, but it was that later Vedic period, the time of Sama, Yajur and Atharva Veda, we have seen that this later Vedic period, it was completely based on birth, as if anyone's father and mother, their parents are Brahmin, in that case the son will automatically be a Brahmin, he belongs to a Brahmin family, and this classified other group of people also in that way. So the family business was fixed. If he is a king, his son must be a king. If he is a trader, his son must be a trader. They don't have any other options to choose for. At the same way, the Shudras also, the craft person or the people, those who are doing some other work in the society to serve these three groups, they don't have any right to climb the ladder of the society. They must be doing the same thing how their forefathers had done. That was the way the social structure was defined. Now many people they did not accept this Varna system as it was laid down by the Brahmins. We have seen often by birth the people, those who got their whatever the occupation they got by birth, from the time of Mahabharata we have seen people were not ready to accept them, that they must do the same thing, they cannot be the superior. Even the same Brahmin controlled society, that idea was some way started creating problem with the kings also, as the king was the ultimate superior leader in the society, as he has that wealth, he has that power. He was not, many a time we have seen the kings were not ready to give Brahmins that respect that they were looking for, the Brahmins were looking for. So there are others felt that maybe every time performing these rituals is not that mandatory. Many kings they found in that way. Many Brahmins also, they started performing rituals for their own benefit. Many a time in the later Vedic period, the sacrifice animals, to please God, these type of rituals were not accepted by even the Shudras, the common people, because the main reason was the animals were the major factor that is giving them food. They need animals for agricultural purpose. They need animals, their cattle, to get their milk and their meat and other type of food. Now, for each and every ritual which was strictly fixed by the Brahmins, they started asking sacrifice for of these animals for their own benefit. Many people, they started revolting, they started refusing. They started refuse to give that sacrifice, whatever the Brahmin led society they were asking for. This is the time where we have seen that the Janapadas were developing. Now what are Janapadas? Let us see first what are Jana. Jana means a place. Some few people, those who are in a place, is called as Janapadas. So these some small Janapadas, there are many Janapadas like that. Many Janas, they literally means that the land were set in foot, where they can walk on. That places that combine together to make a Janapada. Janas make Janapada, and then many Janapadas like that, they make a Mahajanapada. Let me give a very simple example. Like the way now we have seen villages, many small villages are there. Now these all small villages, they make a district. Now these many districts, they are making a state where we have a chief minister to rule us. Like that, even this Janapadas also turned to a Mahajanapada. Many Janapadas, they are making a Mahajanapada where a big king or the powerful king is the ruler and they are controlling the entire area. There are 16 Mahajanapadas. This time we can found that they are really powerful and they started controlling the entire north and central India and some few parts of South India. Here we have to remember that the northeastern part of India, we have seen that there were these type of controls were not there. Where the central and north India, we have found that they were completely male dominated, Brahmin dominated society, but this priestly system was not that prevalent in the northeast section of India. Not only that, even we have found that women dominated society in the northeastern side of India. Now, these people, this Mahajanapada, this almost 2500 years ago, we have seen that these Mahajanapadas come out. These Mahajanapadas, they have some basic distinctive feature. Some of them are like they all have forts. The king, they used to show their power by building fort. Now, this fort is in another way saving the kingdom also. Mahajanapada has a capital city. All the Mahajanapadas, they have their own capital city. Now, whenever there is a foreign attack, there is a tendency of the whoever want to conquer that place, they always they need to capture the capital city. So, the capital city need to be protected by building huge fort, and to build that they need many bricks and stones. So, naturally different type of occupation also that started that developed in this period of time, where people they are making huge number of bricks or bricks made by stones, which help them to build such huge forts around the Mahajanapadas. Another feature with the forts, they are digging few of the canals where they used to keep all animals like crocodiles, the ferocious crocodiles and all, that when people that will try to come across that canals, they will be first attacked by the crocodiles, and then the fort was always protected by some of the people, some of the soldiers, some of the guard, those who are responsible to inform king and other people, those who are in that administrative position, if they find someone is trying to trespass inside the fort. So, in that case forts were it was helpful to the king to protect his own capital. Nextly, we find that the kings, so now to protect their own country, the kings, they need to maintain a huge armed force, that is soldiers. Sometimes the soldiers were paid, but many a times we have seen a particular portion of the soldiers only they were paid, they were maintained throughout the year. Otherwise, at the time of emergency, at the time of anywhere, we have seen that the king used to hire people from the common people and pay them as they work, and as that way. Another major feature developed at this point of time, taxes. Tax was mandatory for all, for each and every one, those who are living in the kingdom, other than the dominating part, like maybe not for the Brahmins, not for the Kshatriyas, but other than these two classes, the rest classes, they have to pay, they were forced to pay different type of taxes. The major tax was collected from agriculture, bhaga. The people, those who were in agriculture, they need to pay a particular maybe 1/6 of the production to the king as their taxes. Tax can be in the form of labor also. If a person is not his occupation is not agriculture, maybe he is making some of the ports and all. So, in that way, or he has some other occupation. In that case, he is a craftsman. He has to devote his service in a particular period, in a month, maybe weekly once, like that, for the development of the country to the king. So, king can utilize in that way. Now, the agricultural sector also was started controlled. It was controlled by the wealthy people. Even these Brahmins and the wealthy class, they have their own agricultural land, which they just hold the land, but they don't perform the agricultural activities. For that purpose, they used to hire slaves. They used to get their slaves, and the lower class people, those who were responsible to work for them, but they have the owner of the land always have the complete control on the production of agriculture. Whatever they produce, that was for the landowner, and landowner used to give a portion of the production to the people, those who were working, those who used to work, was appointed to work or was forced to work in his agricultural field. Here we need to remember that this point of time in these kingdoms, women has no power. No, they were not even allowed to participate in the administrative activities, or they were not even allowed to learn Vedas and all. Women and Shudras was not allowed to learn or even to chant the hymns of the Vedas at this period of time. This was about kingdoms. Now we are coming to the another sector, that was the another part. Oh, here we find the change in agriculture also. So, the use of iron actually given the huge change in the agriculture, and to cultivate, first it was whose land he will be cultivating, this is his occupation. Now, the landowner is different, and the people, those who are working for him, for the landowner, they are different. Though their occupation is agriculture, they are only getting a part of the production, not the entire production. And as number of manpower that increased, as the tools, iron made tools started using, production also developed, and people got their extra time to devote for other type of activities. They started thinking more, they started engaging themselves in some thought building activities also. We will now see major two types of Mahajanapadas. 16 Mahajanapadas, mostly they were kingdoms. Kingdoms we have already discussed. One of the major kingdom was Magadha. Magadha was ruled by two major rulers. That one is Bimbisara and Ajatasattu, his son Ajatasattu. Ajatasattu and Bimbisara, Magadha was very much important for transport, for their water supply, making the land fertile, and the way they started ruling their territory. Forest also was there, they meant to provide wood for them, for building houses and carts and other chariots and all. Besides, there were the iron ore mines inside the kingdom, inside the region. So, they were very much enriched with iron in the form as a mineral. It was a time that it was completely ruled by iron. So, Magadha, as a owner of this place where they are getting iron, they started utilizing it more effectively. Magadha had two powerful rulers, Bimbisara and Ajatasattu. They were really very efficient ruler who applied all the available measures, whatever the resources were available, they applied them, they utilized them properly to make the overall development of their own kingdom. Rajagriha in Bihar was the capital of Magadha for several years, and then it was shifted to Pataliputra, which is present day Patna. Now, more than 2300 years ago, a ruler named Alexander the Great, who from Greece, Macedonia, he came and he conquered Egypt, and then he was on the way. His dream was to conquer entire world. So, he came to India. He had a worse fight with Puru, where it is said that Puru was defeated, But after that defeat, Alexander's soldier, they have seen the mighty army of Magadha, which literally scared them. Even these Greek historians, they wrote it down that now the soldiers of Magadha, those who have conquered Egypt, those who have conquered entire Balochistan, Afghanistan, before they enter Indian subcontinent, they conquered all those places. After entering India, they were literally scared to seeing Magadha army, and they decided to went back. They refused to march any farther in India, and from that place actually they went back, because Magadha has a huge army of elephant that consists of elephant, foot soldiers, chariots, and even the king was very powerful. That was about Magadha, the kingdom. Now we are coming to another part, that is Ganas, the rule by Ganas. There can be many kings. So people of many of these kingdoms, the small Ganas, they are together to rule a particular region. Their decision always is elective, it is not selective. So they don't have a particular ruler, one ruler to rule. Rather, many rulers, they come to a common decision, and in a democratic way they used to rule some of the places, that is known as Ganas. Vajji was a place that was ruled by Ganas at that point of time. Here the complete scenario was different. Sangha, Gana or Sangha, it was not only one king or one man ownership, it was for all, where many people they were together, and they gave their decision how to make the place prosperous. Here women have their own power in their hand, and this system, this social system that was implemented in the kingdoms very strictly, that was also not like that strict, and that was, they decide everything with when they doing a debate. Now if they were attacked by an enemy, now these people, they all were together to give their decision, to give their suggestions, and they to give, even offer their efforts to stop the enemy during the assemblies. They have regular assemblies in them. In Ganas, we have seen a democratic way of ruling the people. Here people are together, they are frequently meeting in the public assemblies, they are ready to give their own opinion, their thoughts, they ready to act together. It was not one man army kind of a thing, and they followed some the rules and regulation, like present day constitution we can say. That's the way it was fixed, and the people are following it continuously, and they respect and support each other. They respect their elders, they respect and support each other in the time when they need any decision. They respect others' decision also, mostly the elders' decision. Both Gautam Buddha and Mahavir, they belong to these Ganas or Sanghas. Some of the most vivid descriptions of Sanghas we can find, the life of Sanghas, how it was, we can find in some of the Buddhist books. So here we can see that kingdoms was authoritarian, where one king used to decide everything, but on the other side Sanghas was controlled by many people in a democratic way. It was said that Ajatasattu, the ruler of Magadha, once he was tried to conquer Vajji. Then he sent his, he wanted to conquer that place. So he sent his minister named Vasaka to Buddha to get his advice. As I told you, Buddha was a part of Gana, so he was the kingdom he held from a Gana. So he knows it very well. He told them that if they are meeting frequently in public assemblies, they are sharing their opinions and thoughts, and they followed all the established rules, they respect their elders. You cannot do anything with those Ganas, because they are internally protected by themselves. It will be a right decision. And Vajji women, they were never forced or held by force and captured. They were never treated as slaves or dashis. Many local shrines were maintained both in towns and villages. Many saints, their different type of beliefs and thoughts were respected and even accepted by common people in the city. Around 2500 years ago, we can find this type of a democratic idea even in Athens, where the first word democracy, the rule by the common people, for the common people, for all of, for the betterment of the country. Athens also, they started meeting in a common place and they started sharing their own ideas. All elders, all the adults, they are the part of this type of an assembly where they can share their opinion, where they can share their thought with others. But remember, even in Athens, in this point of time, women were not allowed, even slaves were not allowed to give their opinion or to be a part of the assembly. Citizens were expected to serve in the army, in the navy, and that was you can say spontaneous. It was not that someone is forced that every week, these 2 days you have to work for the king. It was not like that. Rather, for the betterment of the kingdom, they used to work like that. Besides, there were several thousand slaves in Athens who work in mines and fields and other place households. They never treated as well as the women, I told you, they never treated as citizens. So, if you compare with Athens and Vajji, we can say one thing, that so many years back, even in India, they have given that particular place to women in the democracy, which Athens was failed to give. Even we can say that Athens is the birthplace of democracy. Thank you.